What's up, guys? Welcome to the listening party of my new EP. As some of you might know, well, before anything, I'm streaming to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope over there, and I have my Instagram over here. Um, I'm going to be playing my two new records, and then I'm going to take some questions. I've never done this before, so bear with me and see how this works out. I'm going to try to show you the session from my DAW, from live. If you're on Instagram, you're going to have to go to on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, or Twitch to actually see that. If not, I'll monitor the questions here, there, and I'll answer them. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start playing it off of, the first thing we're going to start with is Isolate, the B side of the EP. And I'm going to start playing it from the DAW. So let's go. was Isolate. Hope you guys saw some of the stuff some of the things that I used in the session. There's a lot of it that I sort of bounced to audio to try to save CPU time, so you couldn't see some of the original instruments that were used to make that record. But that basically was it. So I'm gonna try to go to the next one, and which is Do You, and then I'll answer some of your questions. Let me see, what do we got here? While this is loading. How's everybody doing, right? Good? Where's everybody watching from? It's hard for me to read the Instagram questions and the stuff here. Let's see. All right, so next track is Do Ya, the first cut on the EP that came out a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna start it, and I'm gonna go to the session. You guys can see it, and we'll take it from there at the end with some questions. All right, let's do it. People from all over the place. We got Mexico, California, San Diego. We have Germany, Spain. Holler at me wherever you're watching from and throw me the questions. I'll see them and I'll answer them. All right. That was Duyo. This first track off of my EP. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that on the live session. On Instagram, you guys didn't. You just heard it. But I'm going to answer you guys some of the questions that you have. So let me get going. From Jose Perez, how do you get inspired to create badass music? That's a good question. There's many ways that I get inspired. Yeah, I really couldn't tell you. Like, it just sort of like comes to me. Like, I'm watching a TV show, riding a bike, DJing sometimes, or listening to other DJs, and sort of ideas come to me, and I sort of have this sort of I map it out in my head right away, and I say, okay, I want to create something, either sounds something like that, like what I heard, or inspires me to to make a track that makes people dance a certain way. Sometimes I listen to like a track on, Beatport or a promo that I send. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great that I wanna replicate it or make something close to it. So the inspiration comes from different ways. The key is to be able to bring that idea into something that you can feel, that you can like, okay, you know what, this is something that I made, and then you build off on it. Let me go to Instagram, see what's going on here. It's hard to do this on both. Any chance of a deep dish live session? You know what? That's a very good question. Um, that was from, let me see. Some people do this a lot better than I can. Goldmeyer. Goldmeyer. We've been talking about doing a deep dish live stream locally. It's a matter of finding the right place, and obviously up to now with all the social distancing and sort of lockdown, it was very difficult. But now that things are opening up a little bit, we should have something for you guys soon. Stay tuned. We've been talking about it, working on it, and it'll be fun to do something like that. So that should be coming up. Let me see what else we got here. All right, what do you got here? What is my favorite track of all times? Oh my God, that's I need my favorite track of all time. I need like a whole session, a full day long session for that. I don't think there's one. I have so many favorite tracks from different genres, from like techno, deep house, classic house, to drum and bass, to rock or whatever. There's not one that comes to me right now as like my favorite track of all time. There's so many people that have inspired me over the years, from our scene and otherwise. So if it comes to me, I'll let you guys know. Let's see. Um, this for live background. Where are you broadcasting from? Where am I broadcasting from? I'm actually broadcasting from my basement. This was a wine cellar, but there's no wine in it. Well, there was. Drank it all during the lockdown. So this was like, it sort of became like a storage, and it took me a while to clean it up and have this be my sort of live stream setup. It goes with the name. I chose the name Bunker Chronicles early on because everybody was bunkering down, and I figured, if I'm gonna do a live stream, I'm technically doing it from a bunker. Then I realized actually I have something that looks like it, so cleaned it up. Here we are. What else? I hope this lockdown inspires you to go back to old school deepish sound roots. That's a very interesting take. People always tell me you got to go back to your deepish sound roots, and I'm not really sure what that means. Everybody has a different opinion of what myself or Dubfire or us together should sound like, but the way we operate, the way I think all musicians or all DJs or producers operate, you're constantly trying to up yourself. You're trying to do something creative, something new that you haven't done before. So through that process, that creative process, you inevitably you end up having a different sound than what you're used to, or what people are used to. So, what I always say to people is like, I really appreciate that people follow, their favorite DJ or producer, and are with them for the whole ride. Not just, okay, you know what, I like your last song, I don't like anything else you do after that. Why can't you make the same song over and over, something that sounds like it? And I think that's an easy way to become irrelevant really fast. You might have a lot of fans, and they might follow you after 2 or 3 songs that are kind of sounding the same. And then, Johnny come lately, they'll leave you for the next guy. And I feel like people appreciate when you're producing or DJing from what's inside, from the heart, from your inspirations. And through that, you end up having different sounds. And the beauty of music is like fashion. Everything sort of goes back in circles. So I think a lot of people say, oh, that one track that you made was very deepish, or that one track you made that was, very old school. And, I always like to hear that. All that stuff is within the person, within the producer. So inevitably, it will come back. So thank you all for, sort of being with me throughout this sort of roller coaster of a ride, going through different kinds of music, different kinds of inspirations. And that's the best thing that I can ask for. Let's see, what do we got? Let's go back to Instagram. I wish somebody was here to actually write all this down. Write all this stuff down for me so I could just answer. Evolve the sound always. Thank you. Yes, I always try to do that. Any music coming soon? Yes, there's going to be a lot. This whole lockdown has created a lot of opportunity for me to make new music. Some of them are just ideas. Some of them old stuff that I'm bringing back. So there's going to be a lot of music coming out. I think the next thing I'm releasing actually is going to be in July. I recently did a remix of Luzon's Baguio track, and there was a shorter version, more condensed version that I liked more, that I'm going to release that as I'm calling the VIP mix. And then a track that I did last year called Exodus, I had done a completely new version of it. Well, actually, originally it was a different record, and then the version that came out was kind of more techno. The original one was kind of more housey, more techie, housey. I don't know, these names always confuse me too. But that always seems to get a lot of attention every time I play it at my shows. I actually played it at a couple of the Bunker sessions. So I'm going to be releasing that in July, and then I have a whole bunch of stuff coming towards the end of the summer and going into the fall. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot more. Let's see. This one is Brazilian. I cannot understand it. Somebody has to translate that for me. Um, let's see. There's so many things here. How do you change your bunker into a cave? Okay, I already answered that. Where's my favorite place to play? Wow, my favorite place. I mean, I always say every place you go that there is amazing sound system, amazing crowd, and a really good promoter to put it all together, that immediately becomes my favorite place to play. Having said that, and there's so many hundreds of these places all around the world that I've played, I've been lucky enough to play. Having said that, Brazil is always one of my favorite places. That on a consistent basis they seem to deliver in terms of like the crowd reaction and being engaged. But there's so many different places. I mean, from like Tokyo to a lot of places in Europe. I mean, again, like when there's like a good amount of fans that are really engaged and a really good sound system and a promoter to put it all together in a nice atmosphere, you could really be anywhere in the world. What's up, Austin, Texas? Um, will you do a live act for us? I'm not sure what that means. I mean, the live streams are kind of a live act. I don't do, I mean, the whole live thing is it's always been kind of strange to me. Like, people like bring their DAW and then they make, like, sort of replay the music live there. I've never felt like I can do that. Maybe I can, but I never really felt a desire to. I'm a DJ first and foremost. So when no, I'm at my best when I'm playing other people's records and then throwing my own records in the middle of it. And sometimes I just play my own stuff, like one of the Bunker Chronicles that I did earlier was all of my unreleased material, and I have probably another 4 or 5 sessions like that full of unreleased material, things that I kind of lost interest in or never came out, or remixes that got rejected, things like that. So that would be a live thing, I guess, if I just play my own music, which when I did the Get Wild album, I actually did a live thing. It was sort of like I had like dancers and visuals that were matching the music. I sort of choreographed the music to it and all. So that was last time I did something that was live. But maybe I'll get back to it. It's definitely something interesting. Hello, Lithuania. What's up? Mail for demos. You can send demos to Yoshitoshi at info@yoshitoshi.com. And I listen to as many as I can. I'm always encouraged. We're always looking. One of the things that we do for Yoshitoshi, I always like to try to find new up-and-coming acts. Sometimes, we're the first home for them. Sometimes we're like the second or third stop that helps them sort of achieve greater things. If you go back to the, sort of catalog of Yoshitoshi over the years, you'll see sort of who's who of the industry over the past 20 years, 20 plus years. So I really take pride in that, to be able to like provide such an sort of environment for people to thrive in, musically speaking. Hello, my brother. Hello from J.R. Morad DJ. What's up, my man? You are very choppy. Sorry, I don't know what is causing the chop, but I'll try to keep it steady, I guess. Let me see. What do we got? Does Yoshitoshi have a Shazam page? Oh, it's good. Is there a Shazam page? Can you have a Shazam page? I didn't know that. I'll look into it. Yoshitoshi has a Sharam page. It's right here looking at it. That was my comedy routine there. Let's see what else we got here. What types are great? What music are you listening to these days? That's a very good question. I am not listening to anything music that is outside of dance music, to be honest with you, because, preparing for these live sets, you have to like sort of go through demos, go to, just like typically what I do, like when I DJ. So I listen to a lot of music from people in our dance industry. But I've been doing these drum and bass sets on Sundays that I really, really enjoy. And through that, I've had to sort of go back and listen to a lot of drum and bass records that I had and also get new ones. So I am listening to a lot of a lot of drum and bass. But other than that, I'm not really listening to anything. I should maybe uh, different kinds of music to get myself more inspiration. Any tracks coming to feature Anusha? It's a good question. Not as of yet. Usually, with the way that works out, I come up with an idea and then sort of send it to her, and then she does her thing. I haven't really had anything that I thought I could put vocals on yet, or female vocals on yet, but that's something I'm definitely going to look into. Uh, we have some, I think, Hebrew or Greek. I can't understand. So somebody translate it if you see those on Facebook. Um, let's see, what do we got? Any projects with Choco? We already got that. Ludos, where did they get Yoshitoshi from? Where did you get the name Yoshitoshi from? That's a good question. So Yoshitoshi name comes from a painting that Ali and myself um, saw at our lawyer's office early on when we were sort of making our first records, and we wanted to have a new label, and we didn't know what to call it, and then we just saw this painting. It was really beautiful, and it was by Yoshitoshi Mori, a famous Japanese artist, painter. That's been around for a long, long time. Like he's dead now, but like from 100 years ago almost. And don't quote me on the years, but from a long, long time ago. And we thought it would be funny and interesting if we named the label Yoshitoshi. Then we found out that Yoshitoshi has different meanings, and it kind of means one of the meanings is like sort of anything new from what we gathered at the time. So we thought it would be a great name for a label, and also mostly Ali's fascination with the Japanese culture. I mean, I love it as well, but it just all made sense at the time to embrace something cool and different, something new. What platform are you using for your live stream? So my live streams, I'm using OBS. You can't stream to Instagram, unfortunately. That's why I have two setups, one over here, one over there. Maybe I should be looking over here. But yeah, I use OBS, which you can, through that, you can stream to different places like YouTube, Facebook. And it's quite challenging. I mean, for a lot of people, it comes easy. I had to sort of figure it all out. Usually have a lot of help around me, people that can help me out. This one, people had to help me out remotely, but I figured it out. It took me a minute, but here we are. Please play Speed of Sound. Is that the Coldplay song? I don't know if I ever made a version of that. I did make a version of Midnight, a Coldplay remix that I did that never came out. Long story. I might actually play that one of the upcoming bunkers. Let's see. What do we got? Let's go back to Instagram. Wow, so many. Do you produce on FL Studios, Ableton, or Reason? I use Ableton, and I also use Logic. Most recently, it's been a lot of Ableton, but Logic has been my favorite. I don't know anything about FL Studios or Reason. Let's see, what else we got here? Sharam, check your email. Okay. I will check my email. If there's any demos in there, we'll check it out. But you need a tour. Okay, I need a tour manager. Yeah, I need a tour manager down here. I like it. Funny stuff. Let's see. Let's go back here. Take a couple of questions. George's Zone has always meant something special for me because my name is George, and that was perfect timing for my life. Thank you for always putting love in your music. That turns out okay. That was just like a statement. Yeah, George's Zone was also my favorite, one of my favorite albums. For some of you that may not know what George is on means, it's actually a reference to autopilot. Pilots usually, when they put their airplanes on autopilot, they say George is on. So one of our friends, our very good friends, is a pilot. So he sort of told us that story. We thought it was really cool to name an album that. So sorry, George, if it wasn't meant for a guy named George, but it has different meanings for different people. All right. With okay, let's take another question. With the lockdown happening and when clubs start reopening, are you looking forward to playing intimate parties? I tell you guys, I'm so looking forward to playing any party, whether it's intimate, even if it's for like five people at this point. Because as DJs, we get energy from the crowd. Any DJ can tell you that, and this has been very challenging to be able to do this like sort of live streams, and you don't have a crowd. But the fact that people are watching, sometimes hundreds and thousands of people are watching this, sometimes live, sometimes later on, it feels great that your music is still getting heard, and also it's a good practice. I mean, DJing, just like anything else, I always compare DJing to like sports. Um, if you're playing basketball or like boxer or football, soccer, whatever, if you're not practicing, you may have all the skills, but if you're not practicing, you're not going to be at your best. And it shows immediately after you go out and play your first game, especially if you play, against another group that's really good. So with these live streams, it actually helps me be able to stay sort of on top of my game. So when we're back, when everything's back to normal, I can go back and just perform at my sort of highest level. There's going to be a period of adjustment. Right now as DJs, we're playing records that we're not seeing the crowd reaction. So some of the true and tested records, it's going to work. But some of the newer stuff, some of the new stuff I'm making, or stuff that I'm buying or promos, I don't know how the crowd is going to react to some of this records. So until you actually go out and test it, you won't know. So I'm really looking forward to getting back out there. Again, small parties, medium size, and hopefully, back to the festivals. I think I'm very hopeful that within 6 months to a year we're going to be back to normal, or the new normal, whatever that is. But I think there's a lot of sort of pent up dancing that's there, pent up DJing that's, for me at least, that I cannot wait to release. So. All right, I'm gonna take one more question. We're going a little bit over the time limit, but you guys are asking a good question. Would you release the unreleased mix of Flashdance? Once I heard it on your set, and it was fantastic. Wow. Which unreleased mix? There's so many of them. Some people did bootlegs that they sent us. I don't think there's any unreleased mix that we made that we never released. It might have been like a mashup or something that I might have done. But we're thinking about re-releasing the George Is On album. In fact, there's there's two new versions of Say Hello that we played at Coachella last year, and we had a brand new version of that we were going to play at BPM Festival in Miami, sort of BPM party in Miami at the music conference, the Miami Music Week. Of course, all that got canceled. So. But look out for that. That's the first thing that's going to come out. New mix of Say Hello. And it's actually two mixes, and they're really fantastic. I'm really excited about it. So look out for that. And then after that, we'll get to Flashdance and the other stuff. Let me see. How long from scratch to finish to create these tracks? That's a good question. How long from scratch to finish? So some of these tracks, like the Duo, for example, I originally made that track 5 years ago, and it just didn't release it. Originally, we sort of, Ali and I got back to studio for a bit to try to make some new tracks, and that was one of the candidate tracks that we thought maybe it would be good. And then it sort of got derailed, with our sort of crazy schedules and all the stuff that's going on. So that I've been sitting on that for about 5 years, and then finally, every year or two, I would go and tweak a little bit as I learn new things. And then the other track, Isolate, I made that 2.5 years ago, I think. Again, I got inspired and made that track, and it kind of sat there. And then, through this lockdown, I decided to bring it back up, sort of do a new mix down, clean it up a little bit, and release it. But I've had tracks that I've sat on for years like that, and I've made tracks literally in 1 hour on an airplane that, I try to fix afterwards, but nothing ever sounded as good as that. So it all depends on when you're in a flow and everything is working and you're at your sort of tip-top shape in terms of being able to produce fast. Things happen quickly, and then, being a perfectionist that I am, sometimes I sort of second guess myself and try to fiddle with it too much, and then the track goes on a different direction. Then I realize the original version was actually the best one. Let's take one more here from Instagram. Oh my God, there's so many stuff. Vintage culture, the best DJ from Brazil. All right, thank you. Uh, Georgia Zone basically defines the best time of my life. Excited about this re-release. Oh, thank you very much. I can't wait for it either. Should be great. Thank you. Da, da, da. Awesome. Thank you guys for all your comments here. Like party all the time these days. um, Party all the time. I think it was like 35 years of Eddie Murphy's song anniversary recently. Somebody sent that to me, which is crazy. All right, last couple questions. What is the best program to start learning to mix right now? And did I miss the Do Your Isolate Listening Party? Yes, you did miss it. It'll be on YouTube and and Facebook or Twitch. You did miss it, but you can check it back again. I'll leave it up. And what was the question again? I forgot. What's the best program to start learning? I find live being the easiest for like people that are trying to like get into music production. I find it very intuitive and very easy to sort of learn comparing to other programs I've learned sort of have worked with before. But any of these programs, you just have to like spend some time with it, sort of learn it from ground up, and just trial and error. Keep making the records, and even if it doesn't go anywhere, just the fact that you're doing it, sort of your skills are getting built for, and then all of a sudden you become you're gonna hit one record that's gonna be like, okay, that's the sound that I want, and that's just trial and error. That's the best way to do it. What's up, Spain? Hello, Spain. All right. Any plan for a new Yoshi? Yes. Let's make that the last one. How do those? Okay, this is a good one. How do I'll answer two more and then I'm out. Any plans for a new Yoshi? Yes. No. Those CDs were meant for that time. It would be great to do one, but hopefully we can. But not as of now. There's no plan. How do those plants survive with no sunlight in the basement? That's why we have candles here. That's how they survive. No, this is fake actually. So I don't have to water it. It just looks good. All right. That's right. Let me see. Click the pay tab. I don't know what that means. Music. All right. Well, thank you guys all for listening in. Do check out my new EP that's out on Beatport. You can also listen to it on Spotify for free if you have that, and all the other digital streaming outlets. Make sure to check it out. And tomorrow I'm doing another live stream, but it will be my regular bunker live stream. And tomorrow I think I've decided to do a breaks mix. I like all kinds of music, so I try to keep myself inspired and interested. So I appreciate that you guys are following me, listening to all this stuff. So until tomorrow, see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and that's it.